Welcome to the lecture of Les Miserables for exam 2. Okay, the main character's Jean Valjean, and is the main character in Les Miserables is kind of a story of his life and really the wrongs that went on. But I just wanted to remind people that he started out poor, he was illiterate, he was orphaned at a really early age. His sister took him in, and she and her husband supported and kind of raised Jean Valjean until her husband died. And at that point, Jean Valjean took over supporting the family, his sister and the 7 kids, really with whatever work he could find. The bishop is really the bright spot of the story. Everything's kind of dark, but except the bishop. He really cares about Jean Valjean. He looks past the outside gruffness and the dark, sinister character that Jean Valjean portrays, and he sees the heart. He realizes that Jean Valjean needs love and kindness, and he gives that to him. And then I wanted to mention Madame Magloire, because I kind of think this is Hugo's picture of society. When she realizes that Valjean has stolen the silver, she is so concerned about the silver and the fact that they can't eat on it anymore. They're going to have to eat on wood or metal plates. The bishop, on the opposite side, is concerned about Valjean, but Madame Magloire really is not. So moving on to the main concept, Dr. Neveu stated in her lecture that Hugo depicts the degree to which a person's character and temperament can be manipulated and transformed by the pressures and events of society. And we see here in the story that Jean Valjean does change. Before he gets hauled off to jail, he's kind, he's compassionate, he's caring, he's very thoughtful and quiet, but not necessarily gloomy or bitter. But then after 19 years in prison, he does change. He becomes very, very angry and very hard and calloused, kind of self-centered. And on page 1123, he condemns society for the fate that he has to go through. He condemns society for the punishment that he receives. And I think it is fair to note that the punishment for stealing bread was 5 years in prison. I honestly think that was unjust, and he mentions that as well. But I think the main thing Hugo wants to get across here is that your character can change, and that situations and circumstances do play a big role in that development. So the significant moment, I believe, is when Jean Valjean is hauled back to the bishop's house, and instead of the bishop ratting him out and hauling him back to jail because he stole silver, he instead tells Jean Valjean and the cops that he gave Jean Valjean the silver, and he's happy to see Jean Valjean, and Jean Valjean has no idea what to do with that. This is the first time he's shown love or grace or mercy, and Jean Valjean is just so overwhelmed. The bishop here looks past Jean Valjean's very crusty outside, and he sees the soul. He still sees that Jean Valjean can change and is in desperate need of someone to come along and help. And so the bishop really invests in Jean Valjean by giving him the silver and then telling him on page 1136 to basically go and live life, because the bishop has bought his soul from darkness and is now giving Jean Valjean a new, bright life. So I hope this has helped. These are the works I used, and good luck on exam 2.